2:18, I'm going to call the August 27th, 2025 meeting of the Police Records Management System Oversight Committee to order. Quorum of the members is physically present. I'll entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present due to personal illness or disability, employment purposes, or the business of the board, family or other emergency or unexpected childcare obligations, participate by video or teleconference. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
In a second?
Second.
In a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nobody opposed? Motion carries. And we should move roll call.
Berlin,
Here.
Pulaski,
Here.
Conroy,
Here.
Franz,
Here.
Gutman, Marnovich,
Here.
McPherson,
Here.
Mendrick,
Here.
Ritz, Scalera,
Here.
Walter,
Here.
Zerwin. Here.
Okay. In the order of chairman's remarks, you have good news and that I was informed that the RFP is officially out. It was released yesterday.
That's right.
So we're moving in the right direction. And I know just from informal conversations with various chiefs out there, the next few months are going to be critical for the consortium. I remain confident that we're going to move in one direction, keep everything together. So do we have any public comment?
No.
No public comment. We'll move on to approval of the minutes. Motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. And we have our action items. So 6A, which is the additional appropriation for the PRMS Operation Fund, Company 4,000, Accounting Unit 5830, and the amount of $88,776. Is there discussion?
Oh, we need a second.
Oh, yeah, we need a motion in a second. Sorry.
We
A
got it.
motion in a second. All right. Now we can move on to discussion. And so my understanding is this is just a budget transfer only.
Yeah, this is, that's right. So this is essentially just appropriation for us to cover two outstanding invoices related to the MFR OCR 10 upgrade project. So one milestone was completed and the invoices covered the milestones, right? Milestone based. But the first one covers a milestone that was completed quite some time ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Last year.
The hardware staging.
All right, the hardware staging, and the second one covers the configuration that we recently wrapped up. The upgrade project.
So I know we discussed this. So we did approve a resolution at the last meeting.
Yeah, we approved the resolution last week.
And again, all we're doing is transferring the money into the PRMS Operation Fund.
That's correct.
This is not a vote to make a payment.
Right.
That's correct. Any other discussion on this issue?
Berlin,
Aye.
Pulaski,
Yes.
Conroy.
Aye.
Franz,
Yes.
Gutman, Marnovich,
Yes.
McPherson.
Yes.
Mendrick,
Yes.
Ritz, Scalera,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Zerwin. All ayes.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to our discussion items, starting with MFR OCR 10 upgrade update.
Sure, Belinda, if you don't mind, we'd like to take 7A, 7B, and 7C at the same time.
That's
Just
fine.
present them as part of our presentation deck and hit all points. It may be a little out of order, but all three will be addressed in our presentation. So
All
I'm
in favor of efficiency.
I'm going to turn it over to our RMS manager, Don Aaronhalf. He's going to cover the budget, give you guys an update on where we are in the upgrade project, highs, lows, in betweens. And then also talk about, Bob stole a little bit of our thunder. We were going to let you know that the RFP is on the street. That's okay. It's on the street. We have sent basically an invitation to over 13, I think, companies.
Yeah, there's quite a few, actually.
Quite a few, maybe
In the
20.
20s.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and over 20 companies have identified as being RMS software providers. So, but without further ado, I'll turn it over to Don and he can cover it.
Sure, I can't over there.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry, yes.
sorry. Where you came
I'll
in.
pass
Yeah.
mine. Yes.
Eddie. probably.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
She's covered
Lily.
with it, but thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
He was ahead of schedule, so I.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I didn't bring my glasses. Thank you very much. So we're just gonna start off with a quick sort of state of things. When we gave this presentation last year, this is actually the same org structure as last year. We had a couple of people who were just settling in at the time. I can report that they have really stepped into those roles and, you know, this is kind of, I won't say the end state, but we're getting to a point where we're realizing the sort of vision we had for this team when we started putting it together. And so our staffing situation is great at the moment. So the first thing we're going to talk about, again, this is kind of looked at the slide we had last year, and agency exit was a big deal last year. So I want to start off with that again this year because it's still something that we have to think about. Oak Brook is officially exiting, as you all know. The letter that they gave at their last date of participation is April 30th, 2025. That passed and they're still using the system. I don't know what their status is on their project, but I've got no word from them that they intend to stop anytime soon. Their data delivery, we've already given them, basically what we do when an agency leaves is we give them a full data dump from a certain date so that they can figure out how to configure their system for legacy data. And then once they stop using the system, within about 2 weeks, we give them a complete data dump so that we no longer have custody of their records. And so we're just waiting on Oak Brook to give the word for that. And with Downers Grove, they've unofficially expressed plans to leave, but no official notice has been given. So we've also given them an initial data extract, and I fielded a couple questions for them about how that process works, but I have no indication as to when they actually intend to leave or if they even officially do intend to leave. And aside from that, no other agencies have expressed an intent, officially or otherwise. I know about a year ago, we had a handful of agencies that were, talking about it, but no one's come to me aside from Oak Brook and Downers Grove. So many questions about agency exit at the moment. Okay, great. So our current projects, the MFR OCR 10 project, the county team, PRMS team, we've configured, we completed all pre-configuration tasks. So the entire staging phase, we completed that. And we completed the majority of the independent configuration tasks, things that we could do on our own. In April, there were actually two. There was one in March, one in April. We had configuration workshops with Hexagon. The last one should be on for the MFR product. When they left at the end of April or May 1st, actually, the transfer of knowledge was not complete. Essentially, the goal of the configuration workshop was to show my team how to configure the application. And there were several critical configuration functions that they were not able to explain. So a few weeks ago, we had functional acceptance testing with our work groups. And I think a lot of you know those did not go great. The application had some serious functionality issues, instability, things like that. We brought this back to Hexagon and their immediate action was to schedule another configuration workshop as we did have some outstanding issues. Where some of my team is downstairs concluding that workshop right now. We're making some progress, not as much as I think Hexagon would hope. That having been said, is my assessment of the MFR product right now is that it's not ready. We had initially had a November date set for implementation, and we've communicated to Hexagon that it's our opinion that's just not feasible. We've talked with the command focus group, and they've provided essentially the same, the same recommendation that there's no way to do it in November because the product is just not functional right now. We're working with Hexagon to revise the timeline and to figure out what the next steps are. We're still, the reason that we engaged in this configuration workshop, despite the fact that we don't think the product's mature, is that we're still trying to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row. If Hexagon comes to us tomorrow and says, we fixed everything, the product works, we want to be able to say, let's go forward. So I'll pause there because that's a lot. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Member France.
Just a few, and I know you're probably just kind of starting, but obviously disappointed. We've got to talk through, if they aren't able to deliver, what do we do? What's our negotiation strategy with them? Because we've got a lot of money riding on this. Delta Works is still consulting us on this.
So separate, the two separate things. So
That's separate.
one is the upgrade and one is the RFP.
Got it.
Delta Works is responsible.
Okay,
for
okay.
RFP.
Got it.
They're doing great on their side. It's so.
Okay. Well, again, I guess my question is, do we need some third party to help either negotiate this or work this out? Or do you think your team has what it takes and they just aren't able to deliver and they're
I'll answer that on
overextended?
his behalf. So
Sorry,
our team
I should
definitely
have-
had, no, it's okay. Our team definitely has what it takes. We are ready to move forward. We pointed out the issues and the problems. The problem is on the Hexagon side. So one of the next steps is I'm actually meeting with their leadership tomorrow to talk through some of the things that you just mentioned, to get a better understanding of where they are, if they're capable of helping us move forward. Is it a product issue? Is it a personnel issue? Is it the product? Sometimes you get the B or C team instead of the A team, which causes problems. So I want to ask them if that's the issue or if it's actually the problem. Both Don and I are concerned that there are no other clients on this product right? So typically when that is the case, that means the product's not mature. All right, so if it was mature, more people would migrate to it and be working on it, and we would have a little more feedback. If we would have gone live, there's no way, we're just not in the position, we're not going to rush it, screw things up. But if since we're not going to go, if we were to go live in November, we'd have been the first, and that's always a challenge for me. I never want to be the first, right? The first customers, users are usually the folks who find problems for software vendors. They say, hey, this is some work, and they fix it, and then they create patches, and then they sell it to all their customers as a finished product after the fact. So that's a concern for us. So those are all great questions. I think we'll know more after the conversation tomorrow. We're ready to go. So Don and I've talked about it a million times. I don't ever want them to look at us and say, you're holding something up. So Don's making sure that doesn't happen. His team's on top of it and all the details. The product's just not working the way it's intended for us, right? And it could be us. Don and I talked about this morning. We're more complex than probably the average user because we have 31 agencies with different requirements versus one agency or two agencies with the same requirements, right?
Yeah.
So that could be the problem. We don't know, but we need them to tell us. And that's what the conversation tomorrow is going to be all about.
Well, I guess on the one side, I'm glad we accelerated this RFP process because now we will have some options down the road.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll learn maybe from some of these things, what we're looking for in the next vendor and be able to incorporate some of that into a final contract. But boy, just a lot of work I don't need to tell you guys that, and they're not meeting their end of the bargain.
Yeah, we're not happy.
So in the event that Hexagon is unable to really complete this upgrade, this
MFR,
MFR
CR2.
OC10, is the system that we currently have, is it capable of making it through the end of the contract?
It is, yeah, it is less some functionality, right?
It is, yeah, it's something that we can survive on. It's not ideal. One of the big reasons that we wanted to upgrade is that we do half of our system, the actual report writing application is essentially a legacy application, that is problematic. But these are problems that all of our users are already used to. So we could make it.
We could live them all.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but we could live them all if necessary. So,
And I guess the question is, are we better off going in that direction?
I would like for us to have a serious conversation about, a strategic conversation about that, whether it makes sense for us to evaluate whether we stop, talk to Hexagon about remedies, right, for not completing the upgrade and stay there until we implement whatever we implement in 2027. Or we give them a little more time until January to see if they can fix some of these issues. Their problems are not unique to them. It's a software issue. They're trying to figure it out, just like anyone else. New applications, that's usually the case. That's why maturity matters, right? It gets to a point where it gets better, and every application gets better and better as people go in, use it, find problems, and they fix the problems. If we finish and maybe we make a decision in January, we're saying, then we may be in a different place, different shape. They may, once we have the conversation, may throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it, and then bring out their best developers and try to figure it out. We may be fine in a couple of months. So I would say, let's see what happens after the conversation tomorrow, and let's give them, I know they're gonna say they just need a little more time to fix it. Let's give them a little more time, and then maybe December, January, talk about, what the true next step should be.
Contract runs through June of 2027, sorry.
It does.
You're here on time, you get to ask all the questions. So far away.
I did.
It's an educational question. I thought I heard you say that this product is in use nowhere else. Is that accurate?
The upgraded product.
Upgrade, okay.
Yeah, no, the upgrade. No, Hexagon itself is used
Yeah,
globally.
that I've
They're
seen.
probably the global leader in the space, or one of the top.
I guess I would maybe, I don't know if seconding whoever said it, but I guess I would want to explore further what it looks like to not even bother. And I think I'm just thinking about what we would tell like a manager's committee, as an example. Are we gonna live with the warts we know, or are we gonna try and learn new warts, potentially ahead of a change? Emphasize the word potentially.
Yeah.
So we don't know, you're correct, there's answers that you don't have right now, you'll learn tomorrow, but I would at least vouch for the idea of maybe no more Hexagon updates, just to save everybody time, money, and energy, and communication a little more straightforward. And that's just a thought process.
The energy in the RFP process.
Exactly. It feels like more of the same, and even more of the same will occur going forward, and I feel like this is gonna be a tough one to explain to some communities.
I agree. We do, well,
Please.
we do have, so this is our special call. We have our, normal meeting, next month. Maybe we come back with an update and you guys can help us make that decision on how we move forward.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess maybe just one
Yes.
more follow. So, Don, you mentioned the reporting. Is that, I don't wanna, I'm sure some members are having issues with other, but that's the primary issue we're trying to address with this upgrade? Are there other things that we're gonna be struggling through with over the next 18 months potentially? If we stay the course and don't put forth the upgrade or go forward with it?
He's asking, what does it fix? So going to MFR.
I don't want to get overly technical. A lot of it has to do with the fact that there's separate applications that currently, our current system, they're separate applications. The actual report writing software that the officers use in the vehicle, that was purchased by Intergraph. It's not native software. And so the transfer of records between the two applications has been incredibly inconsistent. And that's 75% or more of the issues that we run into at the end user level result from that thing, that exact thing. And MFR is built on the same, it's a linear progression between MFR and OCR. And so we don't have those problems. And I will say that when we've seen MFR function, it's great. I think it's a huge upgrade in functionality. I think the users would get a lot of benefit from it. They did some kind of update, something to it before we did our testing, and the functionality just collapsed. So I've seen it as a functional product. Just the situation that it's in right now in our environment is not functional.
And that's a good point of clarification, right?
Yes.
So, right, it could be they just figure out how they make it work within our environment, then all these issues go away and then we can move forward.
Other questions, comments? Want to keep moving on?
Yeah. So this next one is a lot less exciting for everyone except me. We have, I think a lot of you probably remember NetRMS. We have a legacy system that's still being hosted in the sheriff's office. And we identified, with the security breach, we identified this as a potential security risk. And so our plan is to migrate the legacy data into our current system as part of some broader cybersecurity efforts. I'll have more details on that, hopefully, probably by the December meeting. I'll have more details on how that's going to progress. And finally, I'll say it again, the RFP was published yesterday. It's out there. It looks really good. I reviewed the packet many, many times. We had a significant vendor list. We expect about a dozen of them to actually be appropriate for our scale, capable of handling something this large. But it did go out to well over 20 different vendors who could bid on this. So we're gonna have a lot of options, and the proposals are due by October 3rd. There may be, when I talked to Delports about it, they said that typically the vendors will ask for a 2-week extension usually. But so mid-October, we should have all the proposals in, and then we'll go through the review and demo process. And we have an anticipated decision of late January or early February.
You have your committee formed or no?
We do,
Selection
yeah.
committee, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, evaluation committee.
Evaluation
So,
committee.
yeah, want to thank Bob for helping us with that as well. We had run into some issues, and the reason why it wasn't released prior to this, we were ready to go, but we didn't have enough evaluation committee members. It's a significant commitment. It really is. They're gonna have to review, just say all 20 of these companies respond, they have to review proposals from all 20. They have to be part of the evaluation process. It's gonna take some time. So because of that, we didn't get a great response initially. Bob sent a memo out to the mayors and managers and chiefs. They responded, and then we got a lot. So we have 14, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
We have an excellent group of people, really committed to working on this. Very interested. So, yes.
And that's a good number of people from all different user groups. So at all different levels of people who can evaluate the system and say that works at this level.
Any other questions in the RFP? Are we moving on to the budget summary? Thanks to the contract renegotiation that Anthony and Linda spearheaded, I don't know what the word would be for that. We have a really incredibly flat budget this year. Normally, year over year, it's about a 4 to 6% variance, almost exclusively because of scheduled contract cost increases. This year, we had none of those. So we're at 0.5%, and that is entirely made up of the scheduled increase in the equipment replacement fund contribution. And so this is, I think in all the years DuPage has existed, this is the smallest increase year over year that we've ever had. It's nominal. And you can see here, this is the equipment replacement fund kind of mapped out. Starting in 2024, we did include a 2.5% annual increase in this because we were going to be short of our target at the end of the contract. So that is, you'll see the increases, they were 400 flat before that, and the increase by 2.5% per year. In 2022, we had the hardware software refresh, which was it was part of the contract restatement that was signed in 2021. And then this year, some of those, invoices that we talked about earlier from the project are coming from the replacement fund in about 160,000. And the rest of the project should conclude in 2026. So you can see it will be just short of that 3 million balance at the end, but it's pretty close. We've made up for almost all of the shortfall that we were expecting 2 years ago.
Questions,
None of that?
comments about the budget? Go ahead.
I guess just next step, so we get invoices out, when we do that, how does that work? A letter and kind of give me an update, I'm assuming at some point, are we some months away or?
Invoices to the agencies?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do that usually in late January.
we got some time. So we'll have a good understanding of where we are with this RFP and with the upgrade and all that we can include in a kind
We
of
will,
comprehensive.
yeah,
look.
Absolutely.
yeah, by that time, we should have answers to quite a bit.
In terms of invoicing, we've changed things a little bit. In July, as of this year, we're doing annual, basically put out an estimated cost for the next year, because I usually get a lot of requests in July from agencies, just what they should expect budget for the next year. So that's sent out every year. We've actually started to do a monthly active user audit. One of our biggest problems with invoicing before is that the agencies had they had a 3-week window every year to shore up all of their active user lists, which is how they're charged. So now we do that monthly, and our active user lists are much more precise. So the estimates are a lot more accurate.
Sounds good, thank you.
I will stop sharing. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Comments? Yes.
Sort of a question, comment, would it be appropriate to share the release of the RFP with the managers at this time, just as a communication milestone? I think that's a significant and positive thing. Just keep people up to date of their decisions, of course, just.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We'll send something out.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So our next meeting is scheduled for September 10th. So we should then, answer some of these questions.
I think so, yeah.
Anything else for the, good year? Any old business?
Chair, just a quick update that we, I don't know if the timing is gonna work here, but I know that we've got 2 new members gonna join. I think they still gotta be sworn in at a DMC meeting, which I was just told was being shifted back a week, which means they won't be here at the next meeting.
Oh,
Oh, it's not September 4th?
I think they're pushing it back to September 11th.
I think Kim's on the line. I don't know if she can
All right,
answer.
legislative got shifted because managers is next week, right?
I think they're gonna move both of them, is what Suzette told me today. I can't remember.
Kim, if you hear us and you hear the discussion, can you confirm Wednesday?
Kim on the phone?
Yeah, Kim's on the phone. Are you there, Kim? She was there.
I'm here. I would have to confirm with Suzette because I know she was working with the other Kimberly White. But I think it was like a 90% chance we were gonna push it back due to another committee needing some more time to discuss something.
So would we possibly move this meeting back a week, or is that asking for too much?
I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, if the rest of the committee and chair is okay with this.
Yeah, it'd be a special call, maybe the following week.
But anytime after the 11th, if that's what the 2 members are gonna joining, I guess we could also do without too, and we can invite them and they can listen and they just will be voted.
We can do that. I would,
We may have to go into the Well, the last week of September, the week of the 22nd through the
Okay.
26th.
Gives you a couple more weeks to sort some of the stuff out.
I like
If
that.
that works, if we stay on a Wednesday.
So the 24th?
24th.
Yeah, 24th is last Wednesday.
I can
And
do
the
the
24th.
I can't do the 24th, but,
We have a
but I don't
meeting.
have, yeah,
We have that meeting at 2:30.
We do, we have,
Different time,
Doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be 2
Wednesday,
o'clock.
right?
right, it doesn't have to be Wednesday, it doesn't have to be 2 o'clock. The special policy.
25th, is it? 25th.
It could be.
Third or 25th?
or how about
Not the
October 1st?
Or just go the following week?
Yeah, October 1st.
October 1st is good.
That's clear for me.
October 1st?
October first.
Yeah.
You can make it work? All right, let's, yeah, we'll send that out. Okay,
October 1st.
So we're canceling the 11th?
so we're gonna, yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna reschedule
Cancel
the
the-
11th to
the
October
10th.
1st. The 10th, I'm sorry,
At 10th, excuse me.
to October 1st. 2 PM, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we can answer.
Our meetings is very. We need a motion.
You don't need to remember.
Usually,
I'll take a motion.
Motion.
All right.
Thank you.
we all go in the same direction. There we go.